Look, tap in, log in. Smoke a lot radio, we going all in.
Tap in, log in. Smoke a lot radio, we going all in.
Tap in, log in. Smoke a lot radio, we going all in.
The squad making sure we all win. Smoke a lot radio, we going all in.
Enough about Puff.
Thank you.
Let's get into your career, man.
Let's get
into how you started.
Legend.
Man. I want to know the beginning, man, because I know your family. I know the personal story, but let the fans know and the new viewers, the people that don't know the history, man. Let them know the whole.
Well, you know, I represent the notorious ass above the law, man. You know.
But let them know, like how, like when you first, give us an insight, my nigga. Like, what age was you when you first picked up that pen? You know what I mean? Like,
well, I started, you know, I was a musician first, you know, because my uncle and my uncle's Willie Hutch and my dad's Richard Hutch is writer and his composer. So
composers for who? Like, you can't just say that.
My dad wrote for the Miracles, the Jacksons, the Commodores. And he wrote for Willie Hutch. He helped me write the Mag, Foxy Brown, all that stuff, you know. My uncle's Willie Hutch, which he wrote for everybody. He wrote I'll Be There. He wrote, you know, some of the biggest records, you know. He wrote for Fifth Dimensions, all that, you know. So.
No, you got to tell the people, because you act like it's like, no, let them know.
Yeah, so I'm from a musical family. I met Michael Jackson when I was like 12 years old. Like, he was in the living room talking to us. Like,
he didn't try to invite you for a sleepover, did he?
No. At that time, he was Mike. At that time, he was really Mike. At that time, I don't know what happened.
He had the nose. He didn't have the sharp nose.
Yeah, he was big nose. He had the big nose.
Big nose, Mike, with the fro.
So yeah,
I was off the wall, Mike.
I'm a Motown. I'm basically a Motown baby, like a music Motown baby. I was birthed into it. About when I was like maybe 15. I met me, KMG. And DJ Chaos and Gomac, we childhood friends. We met in high school. We all met in high school. And we started above the law. And we started hustling. And this had to be 85, 86. And we was a bunch of D-boys hustling. And we took our dope money, and we did a demo called "Living Like Hustlers." We shot it to Laylaw. At the time, Laylaw was with NWA, and they were starting to really build the roster at Ruthless Records. So Law shot him to tape, and Easy and Dre dug it, and then that's the birth of Above the Law, basically, you know.
What year was that?
That's 88 when they got the tape. But we all met in high school. We all met like 85, 86, you know, as Above the Law.
What high school was this?
Golden went to high school in LA, and we went to high school in Pomona. And we used to hustle together. Okay. So Golden would come out, Gold would come out with the LA crew, and then we had the Pomona crew. And we used to be a dope boy clique. Back then they had the dope boy cliques. They had Whitey Enterprise, Third World, Freeway Boys, and we was called HBC crew, Hustlers Beyond Control. We were some young niggas, wild big ass trucks, acting wild big cars, lowriders, all that crazy shit, dope money, you know. And so we started stacking our dope money. We created a demo called Living Like Hustlers, and shot at the Law, and that was it. That was the beginning.
Rather be that than a New Jack Buster.
There you go.
Man, don't do that.
So y'all had that whole album recorded before you.
Yeah, we had. It was 8 songs already done, and then when me and Dre hooked up, we bumped those 8 songs up to a 24, and then me and him did Kicking Lyrics, Freedom of Speech, the last song. And that made the album. That made Living Like Hustlers.
That's the one with everybody on the motherfucker.
Yeah, that's the one with everybody on it.
Boy.
Only person who had known it was Cube. Cube had just left. And Doc lost his voice.
Just lost his goddamn voice.
Yeah, he lost his voice. Yeah.
So Hutch, speaking of Pomona, are you aware of this new what's called West Rushmore? How they have the Forefathers of
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. My question to you is, who would be the Forefathers of Pomona?
Oh, it'd be me, KMG, sugar-free and cocaine.
Okay.
That's it.
That's a cold
Do you guys
thing,
agree
man.
with that?
That's
Hell
it.
yeah.
That's
I
it.
definitely agree with that.
Because you get above the law, cocaine and sugar-free, and we made that city. That's who put it on a global
On my
map.
mama.
Above the law put it on a global stage, and they carried the torch.
Got to do the Pomona Westmore, man.
That's
Fuck
it.
You heard it here first.
I like that. I like that. I like the way she thinks.
On Smoke a Lot
I like
Radio.
the way she thinks.
Yeah.
Yo, back to the story, man.
Okay.
You mentioned being a creator of G-Funk.
Yeah.
What made you guys do the funky music on Living Like a Hustler? Like, what made that be our lane?
Well, we originally like we hadn't really broke ground on G-Funk because we were kind of doing the boom and the bap music, because coming out of the 80s it was more like break beats and grooves, but me being a musician, I always wanted to put music on top of everything, some kind of bass line, some kind of funky bass line, some like instrumentation on top of it. So that started breaking ground. When we really started breaking ground on G-Funk was we did a 12-inch, I mean not a 12-inch, we did a maxi single called Vocally Pimpin'. And that started breaking it. For the Funk of It was on there, a couple other funky songs. And then we started developing like VSOP, and that became the actual G-Funk sound.
Black Superman.
That album.
Black Superman.
What a Black Mafia Life album.
Come on, man.
Which is before that.
Yeah.
Now, so when we developed that, when we started developing that, and to be honest with y'all, is that we only wanted to do G-Funk because we wanted to be a little different than NWA. Yeah. Because when we came out, we didn't want to be looked at like a knockoff of NWA.
Yeah.
So we kind of got out of the breakbeat stuff and started slowing the music down. Because at that time, everything was the high energy. So we slowed it down, boom, and put singing to it. So when you hear our music, it looked like California. Like you said, when we in the Bay, it feels like, because we slowed it down for everybody, it made it feel like California. It's slow, it's fly, it's
too
bright.
short at that time.
That's right.
Funky.
Yeah. So we kind of followed that, but we did it on an LA flip, to where it was still, because all G-Funk mean is that it's gangster funk.
Right.
Period.
It's funky music with gangster content to it. And all we was really trying to do, fam, was be different than NWA. To cut out of that. Not in a bad way, to just say, we want Above the Law to have their own identity. So me as the producer, I always felt like, okay, what's our sound? So I just kept on chipping away.
Hold on, nigga. Slow down, Turbo. You produce all the shit?
Yeah, I produced everything on Above the Law. I'm Above the Law's producer.
Oh, hell no, nigga. What?
Yeah. I'm the producer.
Nigga. Whoa. Slow down, Turbo.
Yeah.
Nigga, now that's why you cold.
Right.
187, bro. You murdering. So you got 50 on the publishing, on the producer side, and chopped it up on, nigga.
And
you was the first Kanye.
He's smart.
You was the first Kanye. You got it from Dre. You wanted to be the Dre.
That's right.
You
Well, they
wanted to be
bought
a
me
Dre.
in to be his apprentice.
Right.
They bought me in to be his understudy.
Right.
Now-
and then you replaced Daz, right? Back
No,
in the
that's
day.
but that's at Death Row. That's later. But
You fast
We
forward
gotta
the
talk
story.
about that too.
Hold on, you fast forward. Let's
Most
stay on
people
this
don't know the
shit.
story because most of the credit for G-Funk goes to Warren G.
Yeah,
to
and
most fans and people.
and
No,
know the backstory.
I'm glad you alley-ooped that.
You
Speak
did.
on the Warren G and y'all discovering them.
okay, the story with Warren G is this. Okay, when we were working on Living Like Hustlers album, right? And Dre didn't want Warren to come stay with him because him and Michelle Leah just got a crib together, right? And he was like, oh man, I'm trying to make this relationship thing happen or whatever, right? He said, hey Hutch, man, why don't you let him come stay with you? I said, okay, Warren used to hang out, he was a studio rat at the time. So it was like, okay, he always with us, eating, rolling around, partying with us and everything, come on home with us. So we took him out to the house. As we was developing Living Like Hustlers, vocally, as we doing those records, he was a part of our G-Funk family,
Okay.
basically. Now, when Snoop gets out of YA, he brings Snoop around. Then we start lacing shit up with Snoop and Nate Dogg, rest in
Snoop rocked
peace.
in, right?
Exactly. So, and that's when they were trying to develop 213, but it just hadn't developed yet.
His name was Snoop Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when he was young.
Snoop Dogg name was Snoop Rock.
Yeah,
back
when he
then.
was young, yeah. But when
J-Rock,
when we
Snoop
started
Rock.
trying to develop him, he became Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean?
When did he change his name?
It was like around the same time, like a simultaneous thing. But
Okay.
when they were developing 213, because really they were trying to do 213, but Warren was really pushing Snoop.
Right.
So we was like, okay. So Snoop come through, he freestyle, we love him, we trying to develop him. Okay, but at the same time, our cliques was breaking apart. So Ruthless was dismantling, right? So when the cliques broke up, Dre went this way, we stayed. Warren and Snoop wanted to go with Dre. We couldn't contractually go with them to Death Row to make Death Row happen. So what happened was Dre came through and he was like, hey, I want to sign that kid Snoop that you got. What you think I should do? And I was like, shit, dude got that shit. He out the building. Boom, 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 boom. That was it.
187 on the motherfucking
That was it.
car.
And see, 187, I was supposed to do that hook. That's me. They imitate me.
Yeah.
Cause it's 187 on the undercover cop. He just emulate me. So all that's when we were together, you know, because me and Cocaine got a record on Deep Cover soundtrack. We all were together. The crazy part about what Warren G is Warren G will tell you that he got G-Funk from us. It was Above the Law sound.
Right.
He just integrated it in him, just like the Chronic. The Chronic is influenced by me as a producer. When we was working on Niggas for Life, I was working on Black Mafia Life, which is the blueprint to G-Funk. Well, when he left, he heard all the shit I was doing. He's like, I want to use a little bit of this and it was like sprinkles of what I was doing, Dre, because me and Dre worked together all the time.
Yeah.
At that time. Every day we in the studio together.
That split was crazy.
You know, I was the little mini Dre because I was a young dude learning how to make records, but I always could play. I played 3 different instruments. I always could program, all that shit. I put the drums on 100 Miles and Running. They were my drums. I wrote 100 Miles and Running with them.
Hold on. 100 Miles and Running, you co-produced?
Absolutely, and I co-wrote it.
Damn.
Fact, I produced Easy-E, Dogg, there's so many people I produced.
Legendary
it's ridiculous.
shit on Smoking Lot Radio.
I produced all of Cocaine's early stuff. Everything.
That's that Zigzag album. That one.
There you go.
Zigzag.
Yep.
That rapper on the front.
I produced every record on the Black Superman album. Every record.
That slow burn.
Every record on Black Mafia Life, every record, even the record that you came in and did with KMG called Soul Searching. I produced that whole album.
Come on, bro. I'm thinking Dr. Dre had something to do.
Nah, only thing Dre
album.
taught me how to make records. That's what I taught. When I bought my demo in, which was I had 8 songs already produced, he helped me bump them up to a 24 track, and then me and him together produced 3 more records on Living Like Hustlers. And then from there I was off and running. He was like, you don't need me. He was like, man, come on.
So you was the first dance?
Yeah, if you want to say that. Because we didn't have, at Ruthless, we didn't have no house producers. Dre was the house producer.
Right.
Until I came.
So did Yella ever do beats?
Yella, but they were a team, remember? Him and Dre was a team.
Okay, they did beats.
But they were the house producers. There was they were like the Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Right.
All the beats is these. Wasn't no sending no beats in from everywhere else.
But Dre didn't know one could do it better by himself. Him and Yella did all the NWA and the Eazy-E stuff together.
Right.
But he didn't know one could do it better by himself. Me and Dre did Living Like Hustlers.
So he did the whole DMC shit by himself.
Yeah, I watched him do that. I watched him do that.
Lord.
Him and Law did Miss LA. Him and Law was behind the Above the Law stuff. You know what I mean? Law was the executive. Me and Dre was the sound. But Dre only helped me produce 3 records from the bottom up. He helped me produce, me and Law wrote a record called Freedom of Speech. He produced that from the ground up. I co-produced with him on a record called Kicking Lyrics, if y'all remember that.
Yep.
And the last song.
The last song?
Everything else was on the demo.
All you.
Living Like a Hustler's on the demo, Murder Rap was on the demo.
He came ready.
Minister Society, Ballin', Flow On, all that's on the demo. Now the stuff y'all love, where you from, I produced that by myself.
I'm gonna tell you where you got the Living Like a Hustler sample from.
Hickey Brewer, yeah. 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 Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
The Bill Cosby show.
Yo,
Yeah.
so
That's
when
crazy.
me and Nunn was little, we was like listening to all the goddamn albums to find these samples, because you got to find the samples.
Exactly.
And it was, what was them niggas called, man? There was some other niggas called, oh man, I can't remember their name. There's some A-band or some shit like that. But you got a lot of that on your shit too.
BT Express.
PT Express.
Yeah.
Them niggas.
Minister Society.
PT Express. You got them niggas on there. Yeah, man. So, yeah, we used to like search for the samples.
Ironside, all them TV tunes. Remember we should sample them TV tunes back then.
So that's how
records.
me and them came with the Club Nouveau shit, because we used to get the vinyls.
Got
you know what I mean? So we went and got that vinyl, bought it to the producer.
Yeah.
He didn't have that beat playing.
Yeah.
We bought the vinyl to that nigga and say, redo this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it was about getting the vinyls and finding the break beats or whatever back in the day.
Like steal from Juice, stealing records from
crazy-
Juice.
Yeah, all that shit. Me and Nunn was juiced like a motherfucker, for real.
And the trip about, and you know the first person who coined G-Funk on a record was Pac. On a record called Call It What You
Call
Want.
it what you want.
No, for real?
Yeah, it's me, him, rest in peace, my brother KMG too.
You can call it what you want.
Yeah. We were waiting for Shock G, rest in peace. We was waiting for Shock to come to the studio, and Pocket came with Mun. At the time, Pocket didn't even have a record. He just was on
Same
song.
Same song.
He have a record yet. And we liked his flow on that record, and he was like, hey, you wanna let dude get on? Cause we was, you know how back then, nigga, studios cost a lot of money. So we was like, okay, give him a shot. We like dude pretty hot. Killed it. And he put that coin on. He said, what y'all call your music? We call it G-Funk. I'm pumping G-Funk, but you can call it what you want. He killed that shit. He the first one who coined that is G-Funk, that he rapping to. Wow. I don't think nobody has ever coined the word G-Funk on a record. They just kind of started labeling that's what we do. But Pac is the one who
said it on
the song.
Historic shit on Smoke a Lot Radio.
You made it a hot sound. I made it a hot song.
You made it a hot nine. I made it a hot.
So when you think about it, I think that we were just trying to, as writers and producers, we were just trying to do something different with G-Funk. And then when Warren did it, Warren and I guess the Chronic and Warren's record took it to a commercial level, which was great for us because we were an underground hardcore group. You know, Above the Law is all hardcore shit. We wasn't on the radio. So for us to have our sound, that's kind of like paying homage. That's kind of like what they say, form of flattery. When
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
Exactly. So I love it.
Man, but Dre took your shit, man.
I won't say he took it because see, people say that people will say that just to agitate it. But
No
he didn't
disrespect to Dre.
He didn't come. That's my brother. I'll still work with Dre to this day. He didn't come in the studio and take no masters. He didn't come in the studio. He just said, my little homie got some hot shit, and I'm influenced by it.
On my mama.